We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
I'm Danielle.
And we're here every single morning connecting with people all over the planet Earth. That feels good to say, the planet Earth. So wherever you may be from this morning, city, state, country, we want to know who you are, where you're chiming in from, because this is where people hang out to have conversations about love, life, and the future, right? The future of relationships. We are about to step into the future in just another day because we are approaching New Year's Eve. Saturday is a new year, and we're excited about that because as great as this year has been, we believe that next year is going to be even better. We're in a series where we've been talking about the mistakes that both the unfaithful and the betrayed spouse make in their recovery process when something has happened. And so we're in part 2 today. Part 2, the 10 big mistakes that the betrayed spouse makes. And boy, am I excited about this conversation. But listen, before we get started.
Well, you want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Ding, ding. That way you won't miss a show or a notification, guys. And we really appreciate you spreading that message across the planet for us. Also, when you come on here, just let us know where you're tuning in from, because when you do that, we will acknowledge you on the second half of the show.
Alrighty, let's do some quick announcements, guys. As you know, Last Chance Weekend, it is here, it is fast approaching, it is filling up, but there's still time. If you are vacillating and on the fence and not sure what you're gonna do, listen, make the decision, get your life and get your relationship. Listen, let's watch this Last Chance Weekend video really quickly, and then we're gonna dive in to our topic today. We're excited about what we're talking about. We'll be right back. That's right, that's the Last Chance Weekend. We're excited about this year because we're starting a brand new year. So we're gonna do something uniquely different for those newbies who are going to start their year off transforming their life and their marriage. But in addition to that, folks, as we've been talking about, it is finally here. Unearthed 12-week path to self-discovery for women. You want to join that. And also FOUNDRY Foundry is a 12-week program for men, and we're taking you on a path to manhood. You can find the links to sign up in the description of this video. Make sure you do that. We also have a page dedicated to really, if you go through it, it's going to explain what these programs are all about. All right, let's get started with today's show. We're talking about the 10 big mistakes that the betrayed spouse makes. You know, there were several comments. Where are the other 7? You mentioned 10. Where are the other 7? We said we're going to do a part 2, and oftentimes when we don't cover them, we cover them in the very next episode. So as a recap, we were talking about how, number 1, bludgeoning your spouse with guilt, thinking that that will be helpful. That was number 1. Number 2, believing that you can keep your mate safe and away from temptation. That was number 2. Then we talked about trying to compete with the affair partner or pornography or other behaviors. That was number 3. And let's go into number 4 this morning, trashing the affair partner. Now, we talked about this a few days ago from the unfaithful partner side, because they're always defending, it seems like, the affair partner. But for the betrayed spouse, it does not serve you when you trash the affair partner, because it reminds you of who she was at the time, who your spouse was at the time, what they did at the time. You are constantly haunted by the ghosts of the past. You develop hatred and a vitriol for that person, which really darkens your heart. And what happens is that affair partner, who you may have never met, who you only know through your spouse, they have a place in your heart, which means that you can't give all of your heart to your spouse because you're still attached to that affair partner. So you want to release them from your heart and your mind and your spirit and just let that go, so that your heart could be filled up with love for you and your spouse.
I mean, it essentially speaks to where you are, right? When you are still spewing all that hatred and venom towards the affair partner who you may or may not know, it just speaks to where you are. You still are holding that sickness inside, that mental and emotional sickness. And if you start to think about it like that, you know, if you imagine that every bit of vengeance, rage, anger, resentment, all of those emotions are actually mental sicknesses, right? And mental sicknesses actually move through the body and settle in places and become solidified, because your mind is the beginning of everything. And so if you look at it like that, you really need to quickly focus on removing it. Now, when you're sick, of course you're sick, right? You have to go through the process. It's not like you're sick today and then you're better tomorrow. But you start doing things, treating symptoms, taking cough medicine, taking Mucinex, taking herbs and things like that to get to a better place. And that's what you need to do as it relates to that, because if you don't work on it, it will solidify and it will make you bitter. It will change who you are, and that's who you become as a result of what you've experienced. So I'm saying all that to say so that you can have a mindset shift about what's really going on. You trashing the affair partner is doing you no justice. No, it's actually not serving anyone. It's not serving your spouse who's trying to get away from it and move forward, or you. So you got to quickly get to a point where you're working on that to get rid of it.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next point. We want to take our time with this, because this is so, listen, we're going to hit you exactly where you're at. One of the big mistakes that the betrayed spouse makes is becoming destructive to your spouse and property. Let's just start with the property first. Now, what happens is during discovery, oftentimes I'm pissed, I'm mad, I'm enraged, I question everything. Was anything real? And what I'm going to do now, because I'm going to take out my vengeance on anything that represents our marriage.
Right.
So wedding pictures, gone, destroyed, ripped up. I don't know, gifts that you've had, broken, smashed, trashed. People will take dishes. They will take, I don't know, all types of heirlooms.
They will take things that matter to you but don't matter to them as well. You know, if there's a picture of a lost loved one, right, and they know that means something to you, they'll destroy that. But the thing is you cannot take those things back. There are actually some things that are irreplaceable. It's like burning it down in a fire. You can't undo what the fire did, you know? And so that fire raising up in you and you just burning everything down and tearing everything up while you're in that rage state. And then when you settle down and you're back to yourself and you're back to your senses, you look around and you can't believe what you did and you can't fix it.
Yeah. We have seen people, or we've known people that have destroyed spouses' cars. I mean, slashed tires, spray painted them, cracked windshields, just in their rage and their anger. And then, to your point, when those emotions subside, it's just like, oh my God, what did I do? And police have been called, people have been arrested. It's just, listen, what we encourage you to do, if you're the betrayed spouse or the unfaithful spouse, once the discovery has been revealed, take every picture, heirloom, valuable item, whatever represents the relationship, put it in a box. Put it away in the attic, put it away in the garage, give it to someone else to hold on to, because you will regret it. We've seen that time and time again, where they're in so much regret because there's no evidence of their entire relationship. Listen, we're gonna come back and talk about the destruction to the spouse. You're watching the Couples Academy show. We're talking about the 10 big mistakes that the betrayed spouse makes. Be right back.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in the car parked in your driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here more than you'd like to admit? I know all of this because I once felt that way too. And it may not be evident by looking around because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearthed. Unearthed is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearthed will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register today.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Couples Academy show, and you just saw the commercial for Unearthed. I'm so excited about that program that we're launching. It's so overdue. You know, when I talk to women and we're going through this recovery process, you know, we seem to think that our whole life, the sum culmination of our life, is going through recovery. And it's just a portion of our life. But if the rest of us isn't pulled together, if the rest of us is lost, stuck, and struggling, then we can't really go through that process the way that we need to. So I'm excited about that program. I'm calling all wives to this program. If you are dating, if you are in a committed courtship as well, But if you are going through a recovery process, this program is for you. Make sure that you register. And I want to actually acknowledge some people right now who are joining us. We've got Torrey Love joining us. Good morning. LaShonda, who's in Noonan, Georgia. Henry Cooper's with us all the way from Stuttgart, Germany. Gonzalez Smith and Jewel is with us. Thank you for just doubling that up, because, you know, we didn't never say that they're a pair, a magnificent pair, a dynamic duo. Ralph Welsh is with us from Worcester, Ohio. Marissa is tuning in as well, all the way from Arizona. Christine Lewis is with us, South Carolina. Jessica is joining us in Maryland. Ash Shilley is with us. Hey, y'all. And VD Jones is joining us. Valerie from Maryland, I know you focus on couples, but do we have a format whereby you counsel just one party? Absolutely. We work with individuals all the time with a focus of rejoining the couple. So that's our focus. And if that's your situation, if it's just you at this point that wants to work on it and your partner is not, reach out to us. LaShawn is with us. Happy New Year's on the way. Thank you. Rose is with us from Minnesota. Michelle C is in Detroit, Michigan. Emily is with us from the Bahamas, all the way from the Bahamas. Jarius is in Louisiana. Charles is with us saying, December 23rd, saw the now ex-GF and her ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And her just a friend.
I think he meant to say boyfriend because it's a boyfriend.
Just a friend kissing right outside her home. For months, she was gaslighting me. Why are you so threatened by my friend's ex-boyfriend? We're only friends. We even went to couples counseling together until a week prior. I wished I would have found your website materials much sooner. Highly recommended everyone look into your materials, programs, and videos. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully it's not too late for you to do something.
It's not too late. You came at the
reach out.
time. God's timing is God's timing. You found us. Now let's do something about it. So reach out to us.
Absolutely. I want to just say hello to Vashawn, Valencia, Clancy, and Daoud is with us. Hey, fam.
Come on, brother.
And Mekalong is joining us from Botswana. Wow.
All right.
Sarawi, how do you say that?
I don't know.
Sarawi, Botswana. Yo, you guys are really helping us spread this message internationally, and we really appreciate it. But let's jump back into the topic.
Yeah, we were talking about the destruction that one does to the spouse and to the property. We started with the property, but there is a destruction that often is done to the spouse as well. You know, we've talked about this before. There is an aggression, right? There's an aggression, and typically it's the woman who's physically beating on the man. Mm-hmm. Men can't get away with that because all it takes is one phone call and his life can be over forever. Even the threat of, what you standing too close. Mm-hmm. Why are you so close to me? I don't like the tone of your voice. I'm calling the cops. And then you can make up any story, and now that man's in prison off of something that didn't happen. Now, if he is physically abusive, that's another situation. But what happens is men give women a pass for doing the same dirt, the same thing. And so we've seen men who've been physically beat down, whether they have black eyes, whether they have broken ribs, whether they have shattered, ripped skin. We've seen it all, where people have used their fists, people have used weapons, people have just grabbed things, and the physical harm done to the spouse it's just horrible. It's horrible. And so we're calling you out. You don't have to do that. You should not do that. Couples Academy has a zero tolerance for anything physical. And so if that's you need help. You know, we're not here to demonize you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to say you need help learning how to release the rage. So releasing the rage is something that you should do, but you can do it in a destructive way, or you can do it in a constructive way that doesn't bring physical harm to your spouse and doesn't put you at risk of going to jail. Because men, for fear of their lives, have called police to protect them, and now you're in jail. Right. It's so interesting when you look at the statistics of women who are in prison. The majority of them is because of domestic violence. Men are doing more, harm in terms of guns and robbery and killing, but women, there's a high rate of domestic violence. And when you look at the cases, most of domestic violence cases are initiated by women.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So please, ladies, if that's you, men, we want to encourage you. Please don't go down that path. Contact us today and let's help you figure out how to heal in a healthy way. All right, let's go to the next point. Making threats and ultimatums. Listen, this happens all the time. Oftentimes, as a matter of fact, I just got off a discovery call with someone today and they said, yeah, he's been threatening divorce for the last 3 years. And I'm like, oh,
Has
3
he done
years?
it?
He hasn't done it yet? Because if someone is going to do it, they're going to do it and then tell you about it afterwards. Listen, just so you know, I file papers, expect something in the mail. But if they're constantly threatening you, it means that it's a tool of control and manipulation, and they're doing it to get their way. They're doing it to shut down an argument. They're doing it for whatever reason. That is a threat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, if you pay attention, they don't mean it. Like, how long have you been threatening? All the threateners, stop threatening. It doesn't work. It's not changing the behavior. What it's doing is teaching your spouse something very important about you, and that is that you make false claims and false statements that you're never going to live by. And so that means that you can threaten all day long, you can say it all day long, and they're going to maybe act as if they're terrified or fearful that you're actually going to do it. Maybe they'll get in line for the argument. Maybe it actually works to calm them down in the midst of the argument. But at the end of the day, it's not going to change them. It's not going to change anything. All it does is let them know who they're dealing with. Stop making threats. Like, when you get to the point where you're actually going to do something, let your actions speak loud for you. Do it.
But so here's a situation, and finally things are turning in the right direction. But initially, we received a call from someone who not only made a verbal threat, but didn't want to leave the marriage, wants the marriage. But they said, okay, well, nothing else is working, so I'm telling you I'm leaving, right? I'm filing papers, which was done. I'm leaving. They rented a truck. They put all their furniture and belongings on that vehicle. They left. And their whole purpose and goal was to finally get their spouse to respond the right way. It didn't work.
Wow.
So you went through all of that to make a point, not wanting to leave, wanting your relationship, and it
So you didn't mean
work.
it. So you did all of that. You did all of that, packed your things up, moved out and left, hoping he would stop you. And he didn't.
He didn't.
Which is exactly why don't make false threats. They may come back and slap you hard in the face.
And as men,
Mean
we're
what
like,
you say and do what you
there it
mean.
is.
Period.
There it is. Because when we see that, we're like, I guess it's over.
I guess it's over.
Oh well,
Right.
let's move on.
How about communicate that you wanted him to keep you along? I mean, these are the games that we play, psychological games that we play that backfire on us. You guys are listening to the Couples Academy show. We're going to a quick break and we'll be right back.
Just switch to something else.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear,
Yeah. All right, guys, we're back. We're talking about the 10 biggest mistakes that the betrayed spouse makes. Sorry about that little tech technology is just like that. We'll get it together. But let's go into the next point. This is a powerful one. Contacting the affair partner and then believing them. Now, a lot of times this is done because, I feel like I've asked you several questions. You won't give me an answer. You're making me figure things out on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So listen, I'm going to reach out to the affair partner. I'm going to get the information. But here's the challenge. Just as the spouse may have their own motive,
right,
so does the affair partner.
Yes.
And what we do is we believe everything that they say as if it's gospel, because either our spouse won't say anything or our spouse has a different story than what she's saying. So I've got to believe her because it's got to be true.
Right.
And so now it creates more problems at home. And listen, not just one conversation, they have each other on speed dial. They texting each other. They getting together for coffee. I mean, I've seen people even become friends with the affair partner because they feel, I don't know.
Well,
I'm confused what it's
I'll
about.
say this. I have seen people become allies with the affair partner. That is a fact, like allies. In other words, now we're both against him because this is what he did. But think about this, y'all. The affair partner has something to gain or to lose, right? Because if the affair partner is now in a bitter place, they've broken it off with them and they thought that they were about to ride off into the sunset somewhere, they're bitter, they're angry, right? They have lost. And so you can't trust what that person's gonna say. At the same time, that affair partner might have something to gain, right? If your partner is lying to them and stringing them along and having them believe that they're going to leave the wife and all of this stuff, they have something to gain. So they'll say whatever they need to say to discourage you and make you drop out. So you cannot believe there's no validity in anything that the affair partner has to say to you. Not a place to be. And that's why our process eliminates all of that. You don't ever need to contact the affair partner. I know that many women desire that. I don't know if that's a thing with the men. I don't know.
No,
but I know for a fact that many women, not all, really have a burning desire to speak to the affair partner, not just to give her a piece of their mind, because that's part of it as well, but also just to find out details, get facts that may not be facts.
And there's a preoccupation with who is this person? What do they look like? What are they about? So there's also an ulterior motive where I need to know what my spouse was looking at, looking for, desirous of, and that speaks to the competition, or I've got to now outdo, or whatever the case may be. It's just something that is not good to do. And this is why the unfaithful partner has to be open, honest, transparent, willing to share any and all, so that does not happen. Let's go to the next point, guys. Trying to get all the unfaithful spouses, friends, and family on your side. Yeah, we see that a lot because there's an expectation that, I'm telling your mother and your father, I'm telling your sisters and your brothers, because they need to know how wicked, evil, tyrannical, demonic you are and you have been. And when you don't get the response that you thought you would, now you feel betrayed by them. Now you have it out for them. Now you have no time, no space, no relationship for them. All of them are cut off because they did not come to my side, or they didn't respond the way that I wanted them to. Now, we've seen this play out time and time again, where certain family members are not biased to their blood relative and have compassion and empathy and will help to help that person heal. They'll minister to them. Hey, how can we support you? Because they're friends and supporters of the marriage. And then you have other family members who say, well, you know what? Blood is thicker than water, and I understand what he did or what she did, but why are you contacting me? That's still my family. And it's not like they don't have any sympathy, but they are on the side of their blood relative. And so, because it's just like, okay, you told me, what do you want me to do? What are you asking me to do? So I think it's important to know what the objective is up front, what you're looking for, and I think you need to manage your expectations.
Yeah,
I think that's critically important.
I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, I'm thinking of a scenario where, what Hassani said, the in-laws aren't necessarily going to take the side of their family member because they're on the side of what's right. But after a while, when things are not rectified, when the couple's not, get reconciled and getting back together, those in-laws do get fatigued. They just don't want to be in the middle, right? They're on the side of what's right, but hey, they can't control their family members, so if they're not going to do what's right, they're kind of tired of you coming to them, complaining to them about what their family member isn't doing. And so what you do is leave them out of it. Like, leave them out of it, because at the end of the day, when you guys reconcile and move down the road, they don't forget these things. You've literally tainted the perspective, not just the in-laws, but your family too. And you're back to being in love and fixing things and moving forward, and they can't forget. So you just leave them out of it altogether. There are other places where you can find allies and alliances, like Couples Academy or some other place where you're getting some therapy, where somebody can be an ally to your marriage and support recovery instead of being an ally to who did this and who did that.
Absolutely true. Listen, we got 3 more points. Let's hit them. No, believing that your spouse should or can, believing that you should or can do the same thing. So you cheated, guess what? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to feel what you felt. I mean, obviously, you did what you wanted to do. Maybe I should try this too. And so you're going to force an open marriage. You're going to cheat and thinking that if you do that, you're going to feel better. Well, maybe I need to, maybe I've been constricted. Maybe I need to go out there and have a good time. And what happens is people who go down that path wind up feeling way worse. And now you got a double betrayal. And the healing process is uniquely different because now hurt is on both sides.
And the double betrayal, part of that double betrayal is you betrayed yourself, because you don't necessarily have the same ethics and values as the person that stepped out on you, right?
Yeah.
So even though it might seem like the best revenge ever, reciprocity, it's fair, it's equal, let's even the playing field. At the end of the day, if it's not in you, it can't come out of you. So why are you trying to bring that out of you?
There it is.
If that's not you, then stay in your lane. That's not you. You have other issues. Trust and believe. You got other stuff that's dragging you down, that you need to work on, that you need to figure out, find out, and work out. But that ain't it. So don't invite that into your heart and into your spirit.
That actually brings us to the next point before we get there. Oftentimes the the unfaithful spouse will give their betrayed spouse a pass.
Yes.
I think it's called a hall pass or something like that. Well, listen, I know I cheated, and how about, I want to make this thing right, so I'm gonna give you a pass. So I don't want to know about it. You just go, do your thing, and then we'll be good, right?
Right.
So we're gonna even up the score, and then we're good, right? And it makes it 1,000 times worse for both partners, because the one who gave the hall pass, now they're like, oh my God, what did I do? And how was it? And now that there's the comparisons.
And now you're back. Now you've opened up your marriage, right? Now there's multiple cheatings and everything going on. And I've had clients who have been given a hall pass. And going back to the point before, they don't want the hall pass. They actually want a closed, committed marriage.
That's what
they
don't
want
want
to step out. They want to fix they want you to fix whatever was broken in you, so that you don't want to step out.
But Danielle, check this out.
Don't intoxicate me with your sickness and have me stepping out doing some things that are outside of my value system. Absolutely not.
But I give you the hall pass, which means I'm controlling your affair. I'm in control. I'm giving you permission, and you do it. You do it, right? All right, we're even. Now, a year or two later, you feel in some type of way. We're not where you thought we should be. And now you're going to go out on your own. Well, I did it before. Now you can justify doing it again. Now I'm offended because I didn't give you permission. I wasn't in control of it. And now, see what happens?
Yeah.
So it's just not worth it.
Slope.
But you made a great point. You said, you know what? You may not want to have an affair, but there's other issues you need to work on, which goes to the next point. And that is believing that you, the faithful spouse, are blameless, and that the only one who has things to change and forgive really is the unfaithful spouse. And we've seen this where we have clients who literally believe that 100%, not 100%, but 99.9% of all of the problems in our marriage is the unfaithful spouse's problems. Not me. I haven't done anything wrong. I've been the perfect citizen. I've been the perfect model of a spouse, of a parent. It's not me, it's all them, which is crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Insane.
We talk about this all the time. Draw the circle around your own 2 feet. Look down, look up. You're in it all by yourself. What do you need to unearth? What do you need to work out? What do you need to rectify and release? That's where the business is, y'all. Because when you get busy doing that and you're both doing that, eureka. Everybody gets what they want. Everybody wins. But let's not take on the bad habits that are around us that are causing us so much hurt and so much pain. We got to really have some mental stamina, mental intelligence to be able to reject some of these offers that come our way, because when you're in crisis, you really are not all the way yourself. You're not thinking as clearly as you would. So, yeah.
Listen, you came into this relationship with hurts, pains, faults, flaws, idiosyncrasies, challenges, because we all do, because we all have a past, whether it was from our childhood, previous relationships, you came in with your stuff. Now the affair happens and then everything goes from bad to extremely worse. And so in your healing and recovery process, you have to work on your stuff.
Work on your
to become the
stuff.
best version of yourself so that you can have the best relationship that you can have. All right, we're down to the last. This is number 10. This may be 11 because I think I put a bonus in there. This is the bonus. Holding on to the evidence of the affair. Listen, when we do these last chance weekends, we take you through a process. When we do these private marriage intensives, the question is asked, do you have any evidence? Are there any text messages? Are there any emails? Are there any videos? Are there any photos in your phone?
Delete.
Delete it. Because you don't need it. The subconscious mind won't allow you to forget. So why are you holding on to evidence? And what it does is it keeps you trapped in that experience and creates more hatred and vitriol and disconnection between you and your spouse. So it's just like, I want to move forward, but you're doing things that pull you back. It's just like you're taking steps back, though you want to move forward. So please release it, delete it, get rid of everything, get a box, gather all of the remains. If there are things that are in the house, gifts that have been purchased, whatever it is. I mean, that's a whole nother situation. So whatever evidence of that affair there is, release it so that you can move forward in your healing process. We've been talking about the 10 biggest mistakes that the betrayed spouse made. We actually gave you 11. We want you to think about it. We want you to get caught up in it. Talk about it with your spouse. And if you both are open and honest and transparent, you'll realize, man, we've both made some mistakes that have slowed down this recovery process. But listen, guys, if you're serious, we're going into 2022. Leave the mistakes in 2021 and begin a new journey together. Listen, we love you. We will see you in the morning for another great episode. See you then.